Sports Shorts Daily. We are going to talk a little bit about LSU baseball, the big matchup coming up between Mississippi State. We've got some, numbers to look at within the conference and where LSU and Mississippi State are. Bulldogs have played 16 games to this point. LSU, 14-2 or 14-3, Tommy? I'm trying to
14-3, I believe, right?
Yeah. So save the LSU 17 games since similar games. We'll talk about that matchup. Also, there's a ruling out of the ACC that came down yesterday that's going to have big ramifications for all the Power 5 major conferences, maybe as early as this year. And I expect the SEC to probably adopt the rule change that the ACC did pretty soon. We'll get into that as well, as that'll have a big impact in college athletics. Also, Jameis Winston. Crablegs Winston back with the New Orleans Saints. He signs a one-year, $12 million deal. And, Tommy, we have not had a true quarterback battle in New Orleans Saints training camp in many, many years, but that is exactly what we will have this summer, this offseason, as both quarterbacks making similar money. And Winston with a one-year deal, Taysom Hill with 1 year left on his deal. Yeah, we know he signed a long-term deal, but it's really a one-year deal, and because they can void everything else. And so it will be a battle royale to see who will be the Saints quarterback. Tommy Krysan joining us from Court Street Cafe today. TK, how's it going this morning over there?
Good morning, Ronnie. I'm doing well here at Court Street Cafe. They're getting ready for the lunch crowd that'll roll in. Smothered chicken breast on the lunch special today. Yeah. So check that out when you have a chance. Easy to get to, Ronnie. Go right over the bridge, veer to the right to Port Allen. Second traffic light, take a right. It's on your right. And they're going to have crawfish again this Friday night. They've been having big crowds for that. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram, Court Street Cafe.
Yeah, literally, if you're in downtown Baton Rouge or you're over near College and Acadian, it could be 5 to 10 minutes is all it takes to get over to Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Probably quicker than it takes for you to get to most places in Baton Rouge. And the lunches are fantastic. Go by and see TK while he's over there. Tommy, I wanted to get your reaction. Jameis Winston, didn't take long. Drew Brees retires on Sunday. Saints give Taysom Hill a new deal on Monday. And then later last night, Jameis Winston, as well, they lock him up for a one-year deal.
Well, I think what's going to happen is Jameis Winston's going to be the guy. He's going to be the starter unless Hill just outshines him as they go through training camp and preseason. But I really think that it will be Jameis Winston. And then you're going to see Taysom Hill, kind of like you did with Drew Brees, certain situations, certain field position. You'll see him entered into the game, kind of like that deal. So I think that's what you're going to see. Time will tell, but obviously Sean Payton thinks Jameis Winston, with a year in the system, a year around Sean Payton, obviously you would think he'd learn something from Drew Brees. Obviously, that's where they're casting their lot to go forward. Salary cap probably eliminated any real chance for Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson. So they're going to cast their lot with Jameis Winston. He did the one-year deal last year at the league minimum for his seniority. Now he gets rewarded a little bit for hanging around, and hopefully maybe it'll motivate him. He'll be confident to say, hey, this is what I want, where I want to be, and I want to help the New Orleans Saints get to the playoffs and make a run.
Well, I'm not surprised by this decision. Clearly, whether Drew Brees gave the New Orleans Saints, a day's notice, a week's notice, 2 months' notice, it doesn't really matter. Clearly, they got notice because they had their ducks in a row for when he announced things on Sunday, and then quickly, within really 24 to 36 hours, you wrap up your deal with Winston, you wrap up your deal with Hill, and you're ready to roll. Interesting decision, though, by Jameis Winston, right? Like, he didn't try to go get a 2 or 3 year deal somewhere else, maybe even for less money, but more guarantee. He's rolling the dice on himself, Tommy, expecting the salary cap to go up in 2022, taking less money, if you will, in the sense that it's a deal that's up to as much as $12 million. But he's rolling the dice that he's going to go in there, win that job, and then next thing you know, he's going to beat the Teddy Bridgewater or better after that.
Yeah, he's betting on himself. I don't mind a guy doing that. He's saying, hey, if I can go produce, if the Saints can have success and I can be a part of that, either the Saints or somebody will reward him going down the road when the salary cap kicks up a little bit. So I don't have a problem with that. I've never been a big fan of Jameis Winston, but at times he's looked like a very good quarterback. He's got the size. He's got the arm. Now I really like, and probably Winston likes as well, the year under the belt, the year of experience in the Saints organization, the Saints system. He knows everybody that's around him. The people around him know him. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if you're a Saints fan, this is what you got to go with, because this is what it's going to be.
Besides the handful of antics that he's done in his younger off the field issues, I think it's well worth the gamble for the New Orleans Saints. I think it's a situation where Jameis Winston, there's so much upside here, Tommy, and so much value you can potentially get here. I think the Saints gave Taysom Hill that 2-year, 20-something, $22, $23 million deal, first round tender offer security, betting on the come. They thought what they could get out of Taysom Hill. But I think the reality is you saw, if we want to grind out a season with a veteran team and a good defense, we could probably have a winning record with Taysom Hill. We could probably get to the playoffs. Maybe we don't win a division, but we could probably figure out a way to go 10-6, or 9-7 with Taysom Hill at quarterback. But even if you get in, I don't think you're going to do anything. And Taysom Hill's not going to get you to a Super Bowl. And he's not dynamic enough. He doesn't do enough things. He's an old school grinder. Taysom Hill would have been a good quarterback for the Dome Patrol back in the 80s, early 90s. But with Jameis Winston, you got a guy who can push the ball down the field. You haven't had that in a few years because of Drew's arm. You got a guy that has had success in this league. Yeah, he's had over 100 touchdowns. He's had about almost 100 interceptions, 88 interceptions out of like 109 or 119 touchdowns. So you got a guy who's big risk, big reward. But you know what, Tommy? At this point, with the Saints being so strapped with the cap and COVID and everything, it's totally worth the gamble. It could blow up and not work out, but it's worth the gamble.
Yeah, I go back to one of my favorite coaches, Bill Parcells. He used to say, if a quarterback's not throwing interceptions, he's not trying. Okay, but you can't get out of control with it like he did his last year in Tampa. So I'm thinking with Sean Payton, he knows all that. He will design the offense. He will call the plays in a way. He'll put Winston in position to be very successful. And yeah, he's going to throw an interception sooner or later. It's going to happen. But the question will be, was it a bad pass? Was it a bad read? Or was it a tip pass? All them things matter to the coaches. So, it's a gamble that, all 32 teams have gambles on their roster. And in the Saints case, it'll be here. But I like the wrinkle Taysom Hill puts in on that 3rd and 1 when he comes in and runs it or throws a pass long, which he only did that because Breeze couldn't throw it long. So now you could have more of a Taysom Hill wrinkle. I think he will accent Jameis Winston as the starting quarterback.
If you look at Jameis Winston's career and as a starter, which he had 5 seasons as a starter in the NFL, for rookie year he throws 22 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Second year, he throws 28 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Third year, which was his best rating year, 2017, 19 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. 2018, he had a 90 passer rating, 19 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Of course, the most famous year in 2019, 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. But even in that 33 and 30 year, Tommy, his quarterback rating was 84.3. You want it to be better, but that's not terrible. And it's still, because he threw 5,000 yards and 33 touchdowns. So he's never had more interceptions than touchdowns in his career. He's never thrown, other than the one last season at the end where he just went crazy. Before that, the most interceptions he's thrown was 18. I don't know what happened in 2019. If he said, the hell with it, I'm just going to push the ball down, don't care. But I think he's fixable.
I think it's fixable, and I think Sean Payton's a good guy to do that. So, yeah, we'll see. And, if you're Jameis Winston, okay, you sat behind a Hall of Famer, and hopefully you learned something. And by some indications, I heard he was a good locker room guy, which I would question before when they first obtained him. But you would think maybe he feels like, hey, I got a new life. I'm going to bet on myself. I really better do a couple extra hours in the room watching the tape. a couple extra hours in the meetings with the players, a couple of extra passes after practice with my receivers. If he elevates all them things, the Saints may be very happy.
I'm excited, TK, to see a true quarterback battle in off-season camp and training camp, and watching, a preseason game or two, and comparing them and seeing how they work. I think that's going to be good. And look, I'm not counting out Taysom Hill in this deal at all. Sean Payton likes him. He knows what he's kind of getting in Taysom Hill, and probably thinks if Drew Brees isn't getting the reps and we're giving Taysom Hill the reps, he's going to get better drastically this offseason. So I'm not counting him completely out. I just hope Jameis Winston wins the job, because I think the upside is there. For you Louisiana sports fans, we got a really cool deal coming up. I want to put up here on the screen. We've got an auction that's going on right now. It benefits the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation, and it ends Wednesday, ends tomorrow, St. Patty's Day at 9 p.m. It's our St. Patrick's Day week online auction benefiting the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. It ends Wednesday at 9 p.m. All you have to do is log on to lasportshall.com. You click on the link to check out literally about 200 items. We have 11 Drew Brees items. These are autographed items from Drew Brees. So, with him retiring, these things are only going to go up in value. And so make sure you get those. Also, if you want a private tour of Alex Box Stadium, hosted by Coach Paul Maneri, with lunch with him as well for 4 people, and pictures and autographed items, we've got that for the ultimate sports fan. If you're a foodie out there, we've got some really cool restaurants. We've got some wine pairing dinners as well, and chef's tasting specials. All of that's at lasportshall.com. And Joe Burrow items as well. If you're a Saints fan, if you're an LSU fan, we actually have an LSU game used helmet, a helmet that was used in an LSU football game, and it's signed by Joe Burrow, as well. So definitely check it out, lasportshall.com. All benefits the foundation, and it ends Wednesday, 9 p.m. So plenty of time. Go to lasportshall.com. TK, LSU baseball, the Tigers in action against your alma mater, Southeastern. The Lions come to town. Is it still, are you still a proud alum? Is it still special when the Tigers take on Southeastern?
Well, when I was at Southeastern, we beat LSU. I wasn't dressed out, and we swept them in a doubleheader. Brett McClure of Central, of the McClure family, hit a grand slam to win the second game, and they stopped playing us. So the years I actually played and pitched, we never even had a game against LSU. It wasn't like that. I, just didn't get in.
Jack LeMabe, huh? He was scared of you.
LeMabe got a little bit mad. They were like 12-0 early in the year. We swept them in Hammond, the old 2 7-inning game thing, and they didn't like that. But we just played really good baseball that day. Again, I was there in the dugout, but I was not dressed out. But anyway, it's good to see Southeastern. They've upgraded the facilities so much over there, baseball as well as, obviously the football stadium has changed a lot. Matt Rives was a good coach. They've won 8 straight games. I mean, that's 8 straight. I know, 4 of them was against Sam Houston this weekend. And keep in mind, the Southland with the 4-game conference weekend series, that's going to be tough as it goes forward. But the Lions are coming to town with a good team batting average. They got a good ERA with their pitching staff. They got a couple of young guys who won't throw tonight who are really, really good. And they're going to come in, they got a good record. They're going to come in ready to play and, get themselves ready for their next conference series. Should be a really good matchup out at the box.
Forgot to mention when we were talking about the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, we actually have a special item we just loaded up. It's item number 116. Item number 116. It's a Tommy Krysan autographed baseball. And look, we're going to start the bidding off real low, only $25. $25. It's a contribution to Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. And trust me, the value is only going to go down. It's not going to go up. So go on there. Item number 116, Tommy Krysan autographed baseball. Please go to lasportshall.com and help out. I want to see if we can get the Tommy Krysan autographed baseball to be worth more than the Warren Morris baseball. That's my goal.
That's a big goal there, because Warren was certainly a lot better than I. But if there's anybody out there who wants to bid on a baseball, we'll make sure you get it. And most importantly, you'll help the Hall of Fame. I was looking through all the items last night. Some really great things, as Ronnie mentioned a few months ago. And when you get to number 116, Hey, man, do your best. I appreciate it. And the Sports Hall of Fame would appreciate it. It might be the only way I ever could do anything in the Hall of Fame, but I'm certainly not going to get in. But maybe my baseball can sell and make them a couple dollars.
We appreciate it. Go to items 116. That's lasportshall.com. All right, let's talk some LSU baseball, TK. We mentioned the Lions coming to town tonight. Will Helmers will go on the mound for LSU. The outstanding freshman only has 2 walks on the season, and he's going to get the start. Now, I don't know if Paul Maneri is going to leave him out there the full 5 or so like he did last week against UNO, but that's kind of the expectation, that he wants to develop him for next year. Also, him to be an emergency weekend guy in case somebody comes up with a sore arm or struggles on the weekend. They really believe in Will Helmers, and so look for him probably to get some good work in tonight and then maybe be available on Sunday out of the bullpen if need be. LSU Mississippi State this weekend, Tommy. The Tigers going to be coming up big time, running up against a buzzsaw in that Mississippi State pitching.
Yeah, they really will. State's, one of the best teams in the country. They're loaded on the mound. Pretty good at the plate. Maybe not quite as good statistically yet, but you got to focus on Southeastern tonight and make yourself better because you're going to really need to be good this weekend against Mississippi State. The bullpen, Paul Maneri said yesterday he's not as worried about the bullpen as some people might think he should be. Well, he's out there every day. He's around. Alan Dunn's around. So we'll take his word for right now. But all eyes will be on the bullpen tonight against Southeastern because you got to try to win the game. You got to get them guys out 27 times. And then, of course, the focus with Mississippi State conference play. Ronnie, you've been through that. It's a different feeling when you get in that clubhouse and you're putting the uni on for that first conference game, that first conference weekend. It's different. I don't care who you are. If you're at home, you're on the road. So I'm sure LSU is looking forward to it. And I'm pretty sure the guys in the bullpen are wanting to do a better job as well.
It's pretty incredible what Mississippi State is doing early on in the season, and I know it's a small sample size. I know that it's only 16 games, but, for them to have 219 punch-outs to only 53 walks, we're talking about over a 4-to-1 strikeout-to-walk ratio as a staff. That's pretty impressive. They dominated the Raging Cajuns last week when they faced each other in a midweek game. They struck out a ton of Cajuns in that game. And look, LSU's doing a heck of a job. Through 159 innings this year, LSU struck out 190 batters and only walked 61. That's a little better. That's slightly over a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That's very good. But in less innings, 144, 15 innings less than LSU, Mississippi State has 29 more strikeouts than LSU in 15 less innings. So that is going to be interesting because the Tigers are coming off of a 14 strikeout performance against UNO last week. They've got a lot of young freshmen that haven't been in the SEC battles yet. Going to be really stepping up as far as pitching for 3 straight games in a row, and that's probably something that Paul Maneri stressing is that 2-strike approach.
Yeah, no question about that. You got to put the ball in play. You got to hit it hard. When you hit the baseball hard, good things happen. So maybe change the approach on some of these guys and. That's what you got to do. And then when LSU's left a lot of people on base. A lot of people hadn't talked about that yet, but they've left too many runners on base for that you like. Everybody's going to leave runners on, but they're leaving too many. And that falls back to what you just talked about. You got to be able to hit. You got to be able to get, as Skip would always say, that timely hitting. It is so big. Get that 2-out hit, knock somebody in. Get a guy on second base with nobody out, move him over to third base. If you do all those things, it ends up being good in the big picture.
Mississippi State's schedule, Tommy, has been pretty impressive. They started off the year in a 3-game series over in Arlington in the Rangers' new ballpark, and in that series, they took 2 out of 3. They beat Texas. They lost to TCU by 1 run, 3-2. They blew out Texas Tech. And so that's a big time schedule right there. They played a midweek game against Jackson State. Tulane, they took 2 out of 3 from Tulane. The Green Wave did get 1 on Friday night at Starkville, 7-3. And actually, Tulane could have easily won 2 out of 3 that weekend. It came down to like the final batter, final pitch, final strike, I believe, and Mississippi State walked them off. They knocked off Southern Miss. They took 2 out of 3 from Kent State. They beat Grambling, they beat the Raging Cajuns, and they swept Eastern Michigan. The thing that gives LSU fans hope in this deal, Tommy, is that in Tulane, nice team, but LSU's way better. Tulane was able to get a game out of that series, and also Kent State was able to get a game out of that series. Now, Kent State got no hit on Sunday, but on Saturday they beat Mississippi State 9-5. So we're not talking about an undefeated type squad. Mississippi State's a team that LSU should be able to, at home, take 2 out of 3, although it's going to be a battle.
Well, they really need to. I mean, they got a little bit of a better team batting average than Mississippi State. LSU starters appear to be really on a roll. Lavis had a rough out early. Hill had one rough out, and Marshall hadn't done that yet. But they've all pitched deep. Good strikeout to walk ratio. They've kept the other team at bay. So you really got to look back to the bullpen. Can LSU hold off Mississippi State? And with their team batting average, maybe LSU's bullpen can get the job done. Or maybe perhaps you could have more, have one of the 3 starters or all of them, because it'll be a pitch count thing more than an inning thing. Maybe they could get to the 6th or the 7th inning instead of the 5th or the 6th. And again, it's a pitch count thing, not an inning thing. All of that's going to factor in. It would be a great way for LSU to start the weekend to take 2 out of 3 from Mississippi State, and maybe get a lucky break and take all 3. Going to be a challenge, though.
Devin asked who's on the call tonight for the Southeastern LSU game on the radio. Doug Thompson and Chris Blair. They'll be on the call tonight. LSU hitting 289 as a team. Mississippi State hit 279 as a team. But that 289, Tommy, feels like 389 after what they did last weekend. And if they were Bitcoin, stock, it's going up, not down. I'm buying LSU baseball at the moment. I know they're going to have – look, it's the SEC, and you got first, second-round picks galore on the mound, especially with COVID and people coming back for extra years. And they're going to have their stop-starts. But I'm buying this LSU offense. I think this LSU offense, when you get to May and all those freshmen become sophomores and those sophomores become juniors with all that experience – LSU offense can be pretty good. The fact that Thompson, is doing what he's doing, the freshman shortstop with, the homers and the 5 hits on Sunday, and Zach Arnold keeps hanging around the 300 the whole time. Yeah, we know Doty's good. We know Belosso's going to be fine. We know Dugas having a breakout year. This offense is pretty good, TK. And so I'm buying LSU baseball, especially at home. I think, they don't have the experience on the road yet. Especially at home, I'm buying LSU baseball offensively. The question, which we mentioned yesterday, simply is the bullpen.
Well, they've got 33 home runs. It's something we talked about yesterday. 6 different guys hit a home run on Sunday. That other team, they're looking at the stat sheet going, holy smokes, 6 different guys hit a home run. We got to be ready for that. So that's all a plus. And, hitters are going to have slumps. They're going to get hot. They're going to get cold. That's why you got to have more than one guy who can get hot and different heroes for every game. And that's what we're going to see. Again, if the bullpen would look a little better right now, I feel really good about their chances against Mississippi State. That's going to probably be the storyline there. But and then again, you got to get that timely hitting. Don't leave as many guys on base. Knock those runs in. You need runs to win the game.
The bullpen, I'll mention it once again. LSU really doesn't have any other options on the back end of that bullpen but to leave Fontenot. Devin Fontenot is in the closer role, even though it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Everybody's been a roller coaster, and he's got the experience, and he righted the ship somewhat in 4 out of 5 days last week. So Devin Fontenot is your closer. You know who your starters are, and as far as the guys out of the bullpen are concerned, right now, Will Helmers, who's starting tonight, getting the ball on Tuesday, expected to go 5 innings. If he does go 5 innings, that means he's not going to be available on Friday. It means he may not even be available to Sunday in Paul Maneri's eyes. But Will Helmers, Big Blake, easy money, big 6'7" freshman, the kid from Pitkin, Louisiana, Andrews. Those 3 are the guys that I probably have the most confidence in right now. You could throw a Hilliard in there a little bit. Most people are jumping on what he's done lately. I think I'm a little bit more concerned about him. I think he can help you a little bit. I rather play for the future. I rather go with the bigger arms. I rather go with the younger guys that are going to have bigger upside. We kind of know what Hilliard is. Helmers, Andrews, and Big Blake Easy Money for the moment, for now, for this week, for next week, Tommy. Those are the guys that I'm riding if I'm pulmonary.
Right, and if you're in that bullpen, you got to say, them guys got to be like, hey, I want the ball. I want to go help my team. I want to get a guy out, get 2 outs, get us out of a jam, get us, get some outs where I can extend my outing a little bit and help the team. I mean, if you can get people to do that, you'd be really good. Edwards is who you meant from pitching.
Edwards. I'm sorry, I said Andrews. Yeah, Edwards.
Yeah. Buzzy Heidell's chiming in there, like he's the fact checker for sports.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like it.
No, there's a buzz.
That's good. He's watching our show instead of selling insurance. I appreciate it. But yeah. Edwards, not Andrews. Buzz. I know a lot of these names off the top of my head. I don't need a sheet like he does on the radio. TK, tell me a little bit about the news that came out today, your reaction. The ACC announced that they are going to allow, the Atlantic Coast Conference is going to allow players to transfer within the conference and not have to sit out a year. Okay, think about that. LA in the SEC right now, you go from Florida to LSU to Florida, whatever the case may be, you're going to have to sit out a year unless there's some super extenuating circumstances that the SEC and the NCAA allow. ACC's already said, forget it. We're passing the rule. Players can transfer within the conference. Professors can do it. ADs can do it. Coaches can do it. So you know what? Players can do it. And if that's the case, Tommy, you're talking about Nick Saban is going to go get the best players on every team in the SEC where he has a void.
It's going to kind of open that up. There's going to be some crazy cards getting played on the table. And it's a one-time thing. So you can't go from LSU to Ole Miss and Ole Miss to Kentucky or something. One time where you're immediately eligible. It used to be like that in baseball a few years back, and then that got changed.
If you got a release.
Yeah, if you got the release. And then, you could always go from the FBS to the FCS. But now, and look, I agree with your point earlier. I mean, if the ACC has done this, look for the SEC and the Big 12 and everybody else to follow. And, we'll see what happens. It's going to put a lot of pressure on these coaches because, you got to recruit and bring new players into the program. But we've now seen because of the transfer portal, coaches have to re-recruit their guys they already got, try to keep them there. Now, as you said, if you got a void on your team, we'll just say left tackle. And then, Tennessee's got 3 really good left tackles and one kid frustrated because he can't get on the field. You go get him now. I don't know how it went with the contact thing. Maybe the kid has to initiate it. But, no, it's going to add a different thing to the football coaches' responsibilities and recruiting coordinators. And everybody's going to have to be paying really close attention to this.
This has not happened yet it has not happened yet as far as the SEC. This is just something that this is something that the ACC has adopted, but it's expected if the ACC adopts it. We know the NCAA is looking at lightening the transfer rules. This is going to happen in the SEC. Hasn't yet. Just a matter of does it happen this year? Does it happen next year? But I think as soon as it does happen, Tommy, you're looking at tampering issues in a big way. People are going to be cheating. Boosters are going to be reaching out to players, like even more so now. It's going to be bad. I don't think it's a good thing.
Well, the other thing that's going to happen, Ronnie, all these kids who play in the SEC, they talk to each other much more now during the recruiting process than they did before the social media stuff blew up. So, you can have a kid whose good friend went to Ole Miss and he's at Mississippi State. He's going to go tell that Mississippi State coach, hey, look, this guy that, thought about coming here but didn't come here, he's not happy over there. You got to go get him or I'll get him to call you. The players are also going to play a role in this.
They
might be opening a can of worms they can't close.
What's that?
They might be opening a can of worms that they won't be able to get the lid back on. I mean, there's always unintended consequences. This could get out of hand, almost like full-blown free agency within the league. With players going from one SEC team to the other. Now, it's not passed in the SEC yet, but I think it will be.
I don't think if Nick Saban decides to stick around, and we don't know when he's going to retire, but if he decides to stick around, say 5 more years, Tommy, and operate within these rules, then I can tell you that if Nick Saban decides to Stick around 5 years, learn the rules and how to beat the system. Alabama may be in better shape now than ever before. That's scary.
Yeah, it really is. And he and all the coaches, they're gonna use this to their advantage. Coaches will do anything to make their team better, and this will be another card in the deck to play.
So, Buzzy Heidel hanging out at his office. He's really bored right now. We appreciate him watching Sports Shorts Daily. We got to let him get in with his take here. Hang on one second. We're going to get it.
Well, he's writing an essay now.
Through 17 games, LSU baseball has 33 home runs. The same number as the 2009 team. Of course, Buzzy was a part of that through 17 games. Through 17 games in 1997, that same team had 48 homers. I'm assuming Buzz got that statistic from Doug Thompson. In the 2013 season, LSU had 47 home runs through 68 games. So that gives you an idea of, you had a 2013 season that didn't hit a lot of homers. Then you have the 2009 season that was kind of back to doing its thing. No one's going to, live up to the 96 to 98 LSU Gorilla Ball days. But still, the Marucci bats are hot right now, TK.
And they didn't even hit a home run against Oral Roberts that weekend. So, if they could have whipped a few of them out the park, they'd really be in good shape. Hey, chicks dig the long ball. Fans love to see the home run. They want to see that ball fly out of the park. And, obviously LSU right now is hitting a lot of homers. And maybe they can continue to hit some home runs, hit a few against Southeastern tonight, then bust it up against Mississippi State. Heck, that's conference play.
Oh, yeah, correction. 2013 was Bregman's freshman team, by the way. That 2013 season that only hit 47 homers through 68 games. Alex Bregman was a freshman. By the way, a little follow-up, they could pitch their butt off. Might have had was that Kevin Gosman? No. Was Gosman a freshman at that team?
With the donuts.
Nola was on that team. But I'll say this, that in my mind, and Buzzy brings up Bregman's name, who was a part of that 2013 team as a freshman, and I don't think this is creature of the moment at all. But Dylan Cruz, for me, is right up there. I'm not going to give him Todd Walker status. I mean, Todd Walker had almost 400 for the whole year his freshman season, but Dylan Cruz for me is better than Bregman. And that's not blasphemy to Bregman. That's just facts. As an entire player at this point, as a freshman, the maturity, how he goes about his business, the defense, the offense, the base running, and everything. If you gave me the option and said, who would you rather have for a weekend series right now as a freshman when they were comparable, I'd take Cruz over Bregman. And that's knowing that Cruz plays right field and Bregman plays shortstop. That's not lost on me. But that's how much I think of Dylan Cruz. He's right up there in that conversation as one of the top 5 best true freshmen LSU baseball's ever had. I know we're only 17 games in.
Yeah, but no, I see the same upside that you do. I think he's going to be fabulous, and if he continues to get better, he's going to be here 3 years. He could end up being one of the greatest to ever play at LSU. Now, that's saying a lot, but time will tell.
We will talk a little bit on Thursday about college basketball. We'll get into the LSU game, which is going to be Saturday up in Indiana. Tommy will tell you his Bobby Knight crawfish cooking story, and we'll talk a little NCAA tournament action. That'll be this Thursday on Sports Shorts Daily at 10 a.m. Tommy will be at Tremonti's. But tell us one last time about Court Street Cafe, TK.
Well, Court Street Cafe, 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You got steak night on Thursday. They're going to have crawfish on Friday. Lots of shrimp, seafood, fried fish for all you people doing the Lent thing on Friday. The Sunday brunch with the mimosas and the Bloody Marys. Court Street Cafe. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. It'll be a great way to keep up what's going on with them. They got their smoke and boil where they cater. They come on out to your event. Cook a little meat, boil a little crawfish, smoke and boil. It's an interesting concept. They're doing very well. They'll be out and about this weekend, and when we do the radio segment on Saturday, I'll let you know about that. But Court Street Cafe in Port Allen, 805 Court Street. Got a nice patio now that the weather's getting better, although I know it's raining today and tomorrow. But check them out. A lot of people, big fans of the breakfast here, including the world-famous Buzzy Hydell. And I got a friend going to meet me here for breakfast next week prior to the show at Court Street. So happy to see you. Jason and the staff, ask for Chancey. She's one of the best servers they got here. They're all good, but my favorite is Chancey. Ask for Chancey. Tell her you heard TK talking about it on Sports Shorts Daily. Also, don't forget, go on to the lasportshall.com website, bid on the St. Patrick's Day auction, which ends tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And 116. 116. Bid number 116. Buzzy needs to bid on that. Yeah, 116. Go get a Tommy Krysan autographed baseball, item number 116. And we're trying to see if Tommy Krysan, we can get Tommy's bids up to more than the Warren Morris baseball. That's the goal. All right. Wow. For Tommy Krysan, I'm Ronnie Rantz. Thanks for watching Sports Shorts Daily. Please like and share this video. That's like you paying an entry fee to come to our concert or something. Buzzy Hydell and all the folks that participated on the stream today, by the way, tonight, 8 o'clock, Alexandria Senior High, the Ash Trojans play Parkview Baptist in Baton Rouge. That game will be on at 8 o'clock on CST. I'll be on that call. We'll see you then. Have a good one, everybody.